Hello guys, hope all of you are well in this difficult situation. Welcome to my lecture series. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Rinki Bhaumik, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, JIS College of Engineering. Today's lecture is for first year. For first year, the paper name is Physics 1 and the paper code is EH101. The name of the paper is Physics 1 and 3 credits. There will be 3 lectures per week. Total 36 number of lectures will be there for all of you. This is for BTech first year as I said. Now let me show you your syllabus. This is your syllabus. First, this is module 1. In module 1, there is waves and oscillation. In module 2, there is classical optics where we have to discuss about interference of light and diffraction of light. In module 3, there is quantum mechanics 1 where we'll discuss about quantum theory and quantum mechanics. In module 4, there is solid state physics 1 where we'll discuss about crystal structure and semiconductors. And in the last module, that is module 5, we'll discuss about modern optics where there is laser and fiber optics. So this is your syllabus and these are some books which is recommended for all of you.
Principles and working of a laser. In our earlier session, we have learned different characteristic properties of lasers. Now, let us learn about the principles of working of laser.
Generally, laser works in the form of process that consists of four important processes.
They are 1. Absorption, 2. Spontaneous emission, 3. Pumping and population inversion, and 4. Stimulated emission of electromagnetic radiation.
Now let us discuss about the processes that take place in the atoms in detail.
Absorption.
It is well known that an atom consists of different energy states.
Let us consider two energy states of an electron. Let us say ground state as Eg and excited state as Ex.
When electromagnetic energy falls on an atom in the form of light photon of frequency nu,
Whereas electromagnetic energy is equal to the difference of
Eg minus Ex is equal to h nu. When its energy falls on the electron, it absorbs the energy and jumps from ground state Eg to excited state Ex.
spontaneous emission. As we already said, electrons jump from ground state to excited state.
But the excited electron that jump to higher energy state doesn't remain for longer period in that state, and it comes back to its original ground state by losing its energy in the form of photons.
The photons don't have any correlation in phase and thus considered as incoherent light.
Thus, the release of energy by electrons on their own is known as spontaneous emission. Transition of electrons from one state to another state occurs randomly in time.
Spontaneous emission
Relation, a very famous derivation, Einstein's coefficient. Einstein's coefficient. In the last class, we discussed about spontaneous and stimulated emission. This Einstein coefficient, the derivation actually based on this stimulated and spontaneous emission. Okay, so first we have to remember the concept of spontaneous and stimulated emission and their difference. Spontaneous emission was the emission which spontaneous and stimulated emission, there is a basic difference. For spontaneous emission, when the atoms jump from higher state to lower state spontaneously and there is no influence of any external photon, then it is called as spontaneous emission. But in case of stimulated emission, we have to give some external force. Of external photon, when we give on the atom, then it get excited and then jump from higher excited state to lower excited state, and in that case from one photon we can get two photons. That means intensity increases and correspondingly energy also increases. So today we are going to derive Einstein coefficient. So let's start the derivation. So to illustrate a laser, the idea of stimulated emission is very important, as I said, and then I hope now it's clear to all of you. Now if we consider two energy levels, that is energy, suppose this is E2 and this is E1, that means this is higher energy level and this is lower energy level. Okay, now if we consider that an atom absorbed energy h nu12, nu12 means the frequency between the of a photon when the electron or any atom jump from transition occurs from energy level 1 to energy level 2, then it is called as frequency nu12. Now if we consider that h nu12 photons, h nu12 is the energy which is absorbed by an atom which is in energy level E1 and then excited to energy level E2, and then they make both spontaneous and stimulated emission. Okay, so this is our consideration, that h nu12 is the energy which is absorbed by an atom and the transition occurs from E1 to E2. Now if N1 is the number of atoms in E1 and N2 is the number of atoms in energy level E2. Okay, therefore we can write N1 by N2 is equal to e to the power E2 minus E1 by kb into T. This is we can say by Boltzmann distribution law. This is given by Boltzmann distribution law. Okay, now where Kb is the Boltzmann constant and F is the frequency, means this one we can write at e to the power h nu, or you can write as F also, hf by Kb into T. F is the frequency, Kb is the Boltzmann constant. F equal to frequency. I am doing very slowly so that all of you can get, okay, because this is very important. Kb is the Boltzmann constant. Boltzmann constant. T is the absolute temperature. Now, by Planck's blackbody radiation law, by Planck's blackbody radiation law, we can write sigma f equal to 8 pi h nu cube h by c cube e to the power h nu by kbt minus 1. This is the relation. 8 pi h nu cube by c cube e to the power h nu by kt minus 1. This is the relation, or this is the law, Planck's blackbody radiation law. Each term you know. Since here we are using nu, f, the frequency, so it should be written as h pi f cube, 8 pi h f cube by c cube e to the power h f by kbt minus 1. This is the relation. This is the blackbody radiation law. Now, let's consider the three cases. First, absorption, then stimulated and spontaneous emission. Now, if we consider that if this is energy level E1 and if this is energy level E2, then the absorption occurs from 1 to 2. This is called B12. B12 is the constant, okay, proportional constant. Therefore, what we can write here, that the absorption rate is proportional to N1. N1 is the number of atoms in energy level E1. Also, it is proportional to sigma F. Sigma F is the radiation density. Therefore, finally, what we can write, that the absorption rate equal to B12 N1 sigma function of F, where B12 is the proportional constant. Okay, so 1 to 2, the absorption 1 to 2. N1 is the number of atoms and sigma F is the radiation density. If the radiation density is high, obviously the absorption will be high from 1 to 2. Now, what is about the spontaneous emission rate? If the atoms are now in E2 energy level, now it will try to jump to E1. Now this transition can occur in two ways. Okay, first is spontaneous emission rate, case 1. Suppose this is case 1 and this is case 2. There are two cases. I am just writing side by side so that we can understand it easily about the difference. So spontaneous emission. And this is stimulated emission. So spontaneous emission, what we can write as, it is proportional to only N2, means number of atoms in energy level 2, E2, because spontaneous emission doesn't depend on the external photon or external radiation given on it. So that's why it is only proportional to N2. So therefore it can be written as equal to B, that will be not B, sorry, A21 221 N2, where A21 is nothing but the spontaneous emission proportionality constant. A21 is called spontaneous proportionality constant. Similarly, for stimulated emission, it will be proportional to N1, but it will also be proportional to sigma f. Therefore, finally we can write the stimulated emission rate is equal to B21 into sigma function of f. Where B21 is the stimulated emission proportionality constant. B21 is nothing but stimulated emission proportionality constant. Now, what we can write finally, that, see, the number of absorption will be equal to the number of emission. So, can we write it as B12 N1 sigma f is equal to A21 N2 plus B21 N2 sigma f. We can write it for sure. Now, we'll do some mathematics now. N1 sigma f minus B21 N2 sigma f is equal to A21 into N2. Now sigma f equal into B12 N1 minus B21 N2 is equal to A21 N2. sigma f equal to A21 N2 divided by B12 N1 minus B21 N2. I hope up to this there is no problem because this is totally physics. Next, A21 N2 into divided by N2 B21 into B12 N1 divided by B21 N2 minus 1. Therefore, A21 by B21 divided by B12 divided by B21 into N1 by N2 minus 1. So as we know that N1 by N2 equal to e to the power hf by kb into t, that is given by the Bool's distribution law. Since N1 by N2 equal to e to the power hf by kb into t, so you put it over here, then what you are getting as A21 by B21 divided by B12 by B21 e to the power hf by kbt minus 1. Now this equation up to this I hope there is no problem. Now we will compare this, means this is nothing but the sigma f. Now we have another relation just have got few minutes ago, where sigma f equal to 8 pi h f cube by c cube e to the power hf by kt minus 1. This is kbt, Boltzmann constant. Now this is sigma, this is one expression for sigma f, this is another expression for sigma f. Now if you compare these two equations, then we can get the equations of Einstein coefficient. So let's do it. Therefore 8 pi h f cube by c cube into e to the power hf by kbt minus 1 is equal to A21 by B21 divided by B12 by B21 e to the power hf by kb into t minus 1. So if you compare both sides, then what you are getting as B12 by B21 is equal to B, or you can say as B12 by B21 equal to 1, isn't it? So if you consider it as 1, then B12 equal to B21. This is the first Einstein coefficient equation. Here also we will consider as A21 by B21 is equal to this one, means 8 pi h f cube by c cube. Okay. Therefore obviously B12 by B21 will be equal to 1, and here you can consider this one as equal to B also. See, this is a general consideration. Okay, that B12 equal to B21 equal to B, we can consider it as. Next, another equation we can get as A21 by B21 equal to 8 pi h nu cube by c cube. This is another equation. If we compare both sides, A21 by B21 equal to A by B equal to 8 pi h nu cube by c cube. Here we have considered f, that's why we can write at 8 pi h f cube by c cube. So these two equations are called Einstein coefficient A and B. So here we can consider as A by B, okay, where A21 equal to A and B21 equal to B. So therefore 8 pi h nu cube by c cube. So if you have any question, any query regarding this whole derivation, then you may ask later on. But most importantly, first you have to do the practice, otherwise you will not be able to understand about the whole thing. Okay, so you do the practice first, then it will be more clear to you. And also try to remember the relations also, because in the question may be like what are the Einstein's coefficients, and the marks is suppose 2. In that case you don't have to do the whole derivation. In that case you just have to write down the equations, that's enough. So you must remember the equations also. And there is one assignment for all of you. First question, you must write down, define Einstein's coefficient. Einstein's coefficient A21, A and B. Einstein's coefficient A and B. There is a definition also. Okay. So here in that case you can write it like A is for absorption. Okay. So for absorption, and B is for emission. Now there is two types. First B12 and B21. Okay, then you define it individually. What is A21? Means spontaneous emission. It signifies, A21 signifies a spontaneous emission. Next you can consider, you can define B12. B12 is nothing but the absorption. It gives us the absorption. Okay, then you can consider as B21. B21 gives us the stimulated emission. So thus one by one you have to define it individually. I hope the answer is clear to you, but thing is that you prepare it on your copy, because most of the time you may get confused that what you have to write about the definition of the Einstein coefficient. So that's why this is my suggestion, that on your copy you first note down individually what is B12, what is B21, what is A21. Okay, it will help you to write down the Einstein coefficient. And just for one time you recapitulate it. Like first we have considered E12 and E1 and E2, then H nu 12, this is the energy of the frequency, energy of the photon, then N1 N2, then N1 by N2, this is Boltzmann constant. Then we have considered sigma f. After that, the absorption rate proportional to n1, then sigma f, then absorption rate. Now there are two cases. First, we have considered that the atoms absorbed energy and then jump to E2. Then after that transition occurs from E2 to E1, there can be two cases. One is spontaneous, another is stimulated, and therefore we have got this equation, and then sigma f we have got. Then from sigma f we just compare both equation, and then A21 equal to A21 by B21. So B12 by B21 equal to 1. This is first Einstein coefficient, and this is the second Einstein coefficient. So you do the practice. So thank you for today.